All right. Welcome to the Erik Williamson Show. This is episode number 32, and this is going to be a great episode. One of my favorite rappers of all time, 50 Cent. Huge fan. So I'm your host, Erik Williamson. This show is about books and course review and business, sales, trading, investing. My goal is to break down actually worth studying what's overrated and what can you realistically apply and improve your skills and income decision making without wasting your time or money. Throw the disclaimer out there. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial, legal, or tax advice or services. I am not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your own research, consult with licensed professional, tax professional, or legal person before making decisions. Today's episode is a review of a book, The 50th Law, Overcoming Adversity Through Fearlessness by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. So I've been a big fan of Robert Greene books, The 40 Laws of Power, Mastery, Seduction. His books are great. I'll be reviewing those books too. But the 50th Law, that was a great book. I got a lot of it. And it's great because one of the people that wrote the book was 50 Cent. And the great thing about that is he's someone that's went through adversity, but he acted fearless. In the book, he talks about when he was getting shot 9 times, he wasn't crying or begging or anything when he felt like he was going to die. He thought, "This time, this is it. This is my time." And he thought he was going to die, but of course, he didn't die because he's here today. But basically, the book talks about being fearless during times that are going wrong. So when things are going badly, that's when you should be encouraged and fearless. So I know when I was 18, when I moved out and I lived on my own, I couldn't afford rent. So I had to go live with a friend, but I wasn't afraid. I was fearless. I was afraid then. I wasn't afraid about being homeless. I was afraid about losing everything. I just knew I can succeed. And I lived in the Bay Area and buy properties and buy real estate and things like that. So that's the thing about being when things are going wrong. The worst thing you can do, which is what the book's talking about, is panic. Panic is the worst thing you can do when things are going wrong. When things are going wrong, you got to be encouraged and fearless. And that's how you become resourceful. And when things are going good, it talks about in the book, that's when you should be concerned and a little bit worried. It's because when things are going good, that's when you get careless. There's a lot of famous people that one famous person, our president, Donald Trump, when times were good back then, that's when he lost everything because he got careless. So, and there's been stories of famous actors or movie stars when they got famous, they got careless, and then everything fell apart because they didn't get concerned. So, and then another thing that 50 Cent quoted is that most people can't handle boredom. It means they can't stay with one thing and get good with it and then wonder why they're unhappy. So where does that apply to my life? I know one thing that I'm pretty good at is the stock market and real estate investing. And stock market, I got bored with it, so I got distracted, so I got into Forex. Because Forex is exciting. There's a lot of dopamine because it's quick money, it's quick, it's fast. You have prop firms where you can pay like $200, $500, $99, depending on the company, and they give you access to capital, 5,200,000. So you get like this dopamine, like wow, you know what? I can sign up for this prop firm, and I don't have to risk my money and make a lot of money. Well, long story short, I made $0 in Forex and spent over 10 years. At the stock market, I made way more money in stock market. But stock market is boring. It can be exciting if you're trading options and penny stocks. But for me, it got boring because I got good at it. So that's the thing. Like 50 cents talking about, yeah, stick to something. And after a while, it gets boring, but yeah, stick to it because that's how you get good at it. And it's a thing. So when it applies to myself, one of the things I'm really good at is sales. So I've been doing sales since I was 18 years old. I did Primerica, World Financial Group, prepaid legal, now Legal Shield. I done door to door. I done cold calling. I done events. I done inside sales, outside sales. I've been a sales manager, managed a team of 13 salespeople and cell phones. And sales to me is boring, but you know what? It's making me money. I think the most I ever made in sales was with Chase. They was making over 10,000 a month. So that's why I relate to this book a lot, is because it makes a lot of sense. And when I was fearless, when I was young, I was able to buy 10 houses in less than 6 months. I was able to do all these things because I was fearless, because I was resourceful. But when I was in fear, like I was in 2024, and suffered from traumatic brain injury because I was in fear. I was in fear and I was making bad decisions based on fear. So why am I talking about my life? Because this book was really personal to me. And I believe it would be personal for you once you read it. Because this is another quote from 50 Cent: your opinion of yourself becomes your reality. If you have all these doubts and no one will believe in you, everything will go wrong. If you think the opposite will happen. It's that simple. See, that's powerful. See, my whole life I doubted myself. There's been times when I didn't doubt myself and I created a lot of success. And then when I doubted myself, that's when I had a lot of failure. So I lived two sides of the coin. I had a lot of success and a lot of failure. And a lot of my failure was caused because of my doubts, because I doubted myself, doubted my ability, you know? And then when I was succeeded and made a lot of money, I was fearless and resourceful and calm and confident. And that's the point. And then there's a lot of progress through trial and error and mastering something simple. So that's this book. So I didn't take a lot of notes from this book, but what I got a lot of it is a lot of insight on my life of where I was successful making. I think I made like $200,000 with no money down in real estate, about 10 homes, 200 grand in paper net worth, not cash. I mean, cash, I made like 20 grand. I put that on episode 31 when I talk about that, the failure and success. But, when I look back through my life, it makes a lot of sense, you know, what happened. And a lot of this book is the reason why good things and bad things happen. So he talks about re reallocating dead time, so using your dead time, creating little empires, making your enterprise a reflection of yourself, move up the food chain, and really value ownership over money. So let's talk about that for a second. So ownership. So for me, like owning this podcast, owning stocks, owning a house, owning a car, owning, valuables, ownership is where the money is. Only thing, so 50 Cent talks about making his own music and owning his music versus selling it to a record label. So he hustled and did it himself. So he got ownership. So that's the thing. You want to own things. That's where the money is, ownership. And especially in America, you're allowed to own things legally, and you don't have to worry about people trying to steal them. People try to steal them, but it's harder to steal because you have LLCs, you have corporation, S corps, you have insurance, things like that. So ownership is where it's good. So owning your own book of business and sales, if you're doing insurance, that's what I'm going to do. I do insurance right now. Own your own book of business. I don't do that right now, but eventually I do want to do that. Or own my own book of business because I can sell that book. I have ownership. Ownership is a lot of money in ownership in owning. So with that, I hope you learned a lot from this episode. Some tidbits, 50 Cent. You can buy it on Amazon. It was very inexpensive with the Kindle, but now it's not. So I noticed that on Amazon. Sometimes books are like $2 and then it goes up in price. afterwards. So for now, I have a rule for myself. If I see a book that I want that's inexpensive for like $2 on Amazon, I'm just gonna buy it because it's very inexpensive. But if you like the show, if you're getting value, rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I hope this helps you. So the rule of thumb in this from this book is be fearless and resourceful when things are going wrong. Be encouraged. Do not get scared. Because when you're scared and fearful, that's when you make bad decisions. Learn from my life, going to the psych ward and getting traumatic brain injury caused by myself because I was living in fear and I was fearful. I was afraid of everything. That's what happened. It ruined my life. But also, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me realize I can take care of myself, take care of my health, and go on the upward projection, which is what I'm on. So, with that, peace out. Enjoy the time with you. This is the Erik Williamson Show and episode number 32.